Hot thoughts, we all hot, man. Y'all already know what's going on. It's Pico checking back in with y'all. I gotta keep the legendary flow of guests coming through the door, man. So without further ado, let them know who we got here with us today.
What's up, world? It's your boy Meechie. Call me Bloa, Big Guapo, whatever you want to call it. Straight lace, um, yeah, Houston's finest, whatever you want to call it. You feel
Yeah.
me?
So let's talk about your background a little bit. What part of the city are you from? What was it like growing up?
I'm originally from the north side, but I migrated, to Sea King, east side. Then I ended up in South Park. So I'm pretty much, as far as the city, I'm the city.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you done
saying? I
been
went to
out
school with everybody that became somebody. DJ Screw, Fat Pat, K Reno's, of course, the street people,
for sure.
the Lil Mudds, the Condres, you know what I'm saying? Just all of them, you know what I'm saying? Rick, I went to school with everybody, so it's like I went to school everywhere, which gave me a pass for all sides of town.
Yeah, so living on all different sides of the town and then going to school with like all these different walks of life, talents, and different minds, like early on, what was some stuff that you were into?
Well, I started off, singing, rapping. Then, of course, played sports for a little while. But then when I got to South Park, I kind of fell into the streets,
Yeah.
and that changed my trajectory, in my life. So that's where that came from.
So falling into the streets, was there a particular event in life that happened that made you lean over that way, or what led you over to that?
Um, I don't really want to say there was a particular situation other than I was one of those people that didn't want to conform to what the world had to offer,
Okay.
So that's one of them situations, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so uh, that introduction into, I guess you could say, the street life, how early was that? How old were you?
I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
The introduction was by family members using me as a mule, hiding behind a summer break, a spring break vacation of Weimar, Texas. You know what I'm saying? But that was my first introduction. At the time I was naive to it. And then when I came back across it, I knew what was going on then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and what were some of them steps you took once you start to understand the game, just to change from being the mule to...
Well, what ended up happening was I had a friend of mine's, and his name was Jonathan Riley, and we used to skip school together at Sterling and play football and basketball and stuff after school.
Yeah.
And it was when them little fanny packs was around. And one day I was holding this fanny pack, and he forgot it. And the whole time I'm holding fanny pack, I hear some stuff jumping around in a pill bottle. And I held it for about 2-3 days, you know what I'm saying? And after that third day, I opened it up and I seen some little rocks, Of course, but back to what I'll tell you with the family member introducing me to it, I put two and two together, and I had some step-uncles that was addicted to the drug. And I called one of them over there and showed it to him. And he was like, asked me where I got it from. And then he was like, boy, you can make a bunch of money off of this. Come on. So he took me to Third Ward. And we sold the drugs. And after that, it was like, that was easy. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what pushed me over into it. You know what I'm saying?
And then from that point, you feel like, you kind of just like, oh, I had this, now I gotta, what they would say, re-up, and I gotta get...
Well, the thing is, once I did that, I did start hustling. You know what I'm saying? Then my stepmama put me out the house. I stayed on Burma off of Martin Luther King. And she put me out the house, and I moved around the corner with a friend of mine named Lil Mud, him and his mom. And that's all Mud did. He supported his household by hustling.
Yeah.
So, of course, that became a full-time situation. Ended up dropping out of school off of Doolittle. Caught my first case on Doolittle. I was like 17 years old. So then my mom made me move back to the north side. So when I moved back with my mama, she was, I was the only kid in school, but it was still kind of rough. And then I had kind of been exposed to the streets.
Yeah.
So then after that, I ended up falling back in the streets. But when I fell back in the streets, it was on another level. You know what I'm saying?
So let's talk like that mental aspect. First, how did you catch that first case? Like, how did that happen? You said 17, and then what did that do for your mental?
Man, when I was, of course, that's your first, my first case, it was a culture shock. you know, because I never been to jail. I'm 17. I just turned 17 years old, maybe 3-4 days before this happened, and I went in. And it was like I said, it was a mental shock, you know. And they didn't give me a bond, so I stayed in jail like 6 months before I got probation. You know what I'm saying? So it set me back and it grew me up. As far as that in that age bracket, it grew me up. You know what I'm saying? Because you had to. Because back then, when I went to jail back then, that was 10B3. That was the gladiator floors up in the 1301. You know Jefferson.
Yeah.
You know, so back then you go to jail, you got to rock. You
Yeah.
feel me? Ain't none of that new stuff they got going on now. Back then, it was rocking. You know what I'm saying? You go in there with your Jordans. If you ain't got no hands, you're leaving out of there barefooted. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of them situations. It was mental.
Yeah, so let's talk when you get in there, because like doing a lot of interviews, I hear people say when you go to jail, they really just give you more time to either one, get your mind right, or think about other ways to do what you was already
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, you can say that. You know, I look at that as I don't know if you're familiar with supreme mathematics, the
Yeah.
number 8. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? The number 8 is either build or destroy. You know, and if you really take that ideology and take it into the prison system, that's what the prison system is. Because even with you turning the number 8 to the side, which means infinity, it's just meaning it's an evolution cycle. You feel what I'm saying? So when you go into that, you really go to the prison system, and a lot of people that's going back and forth to the prison, you can take that 8 and correlate that to that same situation. You feel what I'm saying? It's a revolving door. So you can also take that and place it in the supreme mathematics meaning. You're going to either build yourself or you're going to continue to destroy yourself, you know? Yeah.
Okay, and so you said you went to school with like some of the likes like DJ Screw.
Yeah.
So when that movement hit the city, where were you? And
I was in jail
Mm.
because I ended up getting out on probation when I caught the case, and then I fell in the streets. But when I fell back in the streets, I fell back in the streets on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And when I violated my probation and caught another case, and I had ended up going to jail. So it's like I missed that whole era. You know what I'm saying?
So if you can, the people in the comments, they're going to want to know, like, so when you say a whole nother level, like, in what aspect?
When I fell back in the game this time, I met a Mexican dude. You know what I'm saying? And he had owned some beeper companies.
Yeah.
And some gun stores. So when I fell back in the game, I ain't number 19 years old, but I'm feeling the game. I was getting keys in high school. Anybody that know Meechie, they know I started that all white everything in 2000. Straight Lace is my record company. You know what I'm saying? You can go look at all that. The K. Rugers, the Def Jam, the Sevilles. You know what I'm saying? So when I fell back in the game, I was getting keys in high school. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I've been doing this for, I ain't glamorizing it, but I've been doing it forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people can check my history,
For
so,
sure.
So that's why I fell back. I fell back on a whole nother level of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I did definitely see and I heard about, like, the all white, everything, Lambo, G.
Yeah, I started all that. Yeah.
Was that just, what did the white symbol, was it just, it was...
Actuality, how I first started off, I used to, I always get my cars washed, and white seemed to hold a cleaner color than anything else, because you get the black get dusty. That's what it started off as, but as I progressed into it, it just became a stigma for me, and you can, when people ask me what's my favorite colors, I have to say white and red. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.